It's the beginning of another weekend. Welcome to the show. I am Mairo Afolabi Brown as always. I have the ladies with me. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, Miriam.
Hi, Mairo.
What's up? Any plans for the weekend?
Oh, yes. It's a busy weekend. There's, on Saturday, I've got Slay Festival.
Okay.
So it's like a networking...
for Slay Mamas?
No, for Slay Mamas, for Slay everybody, which is Slay in your business, Slay just different keynote speakers will be there talking about different kinds of businesses, all the people that we sort of look up to in Nigeria doing so well in their businesses, and they'll be speaking. So that's
nice.
one. Then there's Sunday with the kids at Nick Fest.
So nice. Oh, you got the tickets finally?
Nima did it for me.
What?
She was a magician that did it, that worked it out.
Fantastic. She's very resourceful.
Yes.
You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
I just love Nima. Nima, you need a Nima in your life. Anything you need.
Everybody does.
From kerosene to...
Nick Fest tickets to flights to anywhere.
Put me out there. People have started calling me for everything.
When I have a problem, the first thing I think, what would Nima do?
Yeah.
Okay, Nima, let me call Nima. Nima might actually solve this problem.
She was the one I called straight up.
I didn't know
Nima,
you thing. Just call Nima, what do I do?
How are you doing, Obiachulu?
I'm doing great. I noticed that was yesterday. My daughter was running temperature all through the night. She was initially shaking, and I didn't understand what was happening. So I wake her up. What's wrong with you? Are you okay? I was scared. Is anybody touching you? I don't understand this one. You are sleeping and shaking. Are you dreaming? Are you having nightmares? And she's like, no, only for me to just touch her body. It was hot. Temperature was so high. So I just used the water and the cloth to cover her till the next morning. So I took her to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I now met Nima's fan. She was sitting very close to me. She looked at me and said, are you busy of your view? I smiled. Yeah, it's busy of your view. Greet Nima for me. I love her. In fact, we are from the same village. But if you walk 2 houses, and she was like, okay. I said, okay. Halima, I will talk about it today. I'll tell Nima. So I've greeted Nima for you.
That's nice. Mrs. Akasha Zibiri, how are you?
In fact, me, I don't have anything to say again. I'm just speak like that. It's been a crazy week for me, though. I've had to do school runs back and forth because we decided to opt out of the school bus system that wasn't working for me. It's never been convenient for me to use the school bus system, so we took it on. And today, they close at 12, and no, I can't make it by 12. My guy keeps saying, calm down. Calm down. I don't know how to be calm.
Yeah, there's a lady in your house now. What's her name? That can take Uber or something.
That's Oinlola.
Can't you take an Uber to pick them up from school for you?
She
does that for me sometimes.
Uber is not convenient in the traffic situation.
Okay.
When you call them, you have to go and meet them up on the express.
Right.
But I'll see how it goes.
Today in my church, we're having 12 hours praise.
You're really pretty today.
Thank you. This is for church?
No. I had like 2 important meetings afterwards. There's a 12-hour praise starting 6 p.m. tonight in my church. Pretty excited. So from 6 p.m. all the way to the next morning. And tomorrow, we're doing our Nick Fest tomorrow on Saturday. So the kids are going. Hopefully they'll have fun.
So we have gist from you on...
Okay, you're going on Sunday.
It has to be Sunday. Sunday, when it's in the morning, it's calm. I loved it last year.
I think we'll definitely do that as well.
How come I didn't even get the ticket to this thing?
This one has nothing to do with Nima. Me, I found it myself.
And then you put it out
and I put it on the group. I sent it to the group. And I asked you guys... I sent it to the group that you guys do.
Just go on the website and buy. Actually,
it's late now, isn't it?
Mariah and I have been trying for 2 years.
Yes, we've been trying to get to last year. So I'm excited about that. And a lot of things happening. I'm really excited. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. UK court stays execution on PNID's $9.6 billion judgment. Buhari, world leaders mourn ex-president Jacques Chirac. Picture here of Wales Hoser greenhouse farms being inspected by the Consul General of the United States. No crack in the presidency, says APC governors. How Navy chief's murder was planned? Expunge articles experts report, APC tells court. And police free 300 dumped in Islamic center. Okay, let's start with
Let me quickly start with the
PNID is everywhere anyway, so.
Yes, so the ambulance is found at former Senator Bridge Kashamu's compound, Senatorial Office District, somewhere in Ogun State. There's the Ogun East Senatorial District. So the item, according to Rashida Tokodua, who is the spokesperson for the ICPC, were items meant for constituency projects. And they found about a 500 kVA and 3 kVA transformer and 3 ambulances at the constituency office of Senator Buruji Kashamu. These were supposed to be distributed as part of his constituency project. Now, the transformer cost 3.6 million to acquire. It was supposed to be out of 11. That's one. They just found one. It was supposed to be distributed across areas that needed them. And you see, this brings us back to the issue of constituency projects and why we must watch and follow and make the senators account for what exactly they get. Why should this thing, that's supposed to be distributed by the office that awards it, go to his constituency office for what exactly? And it was held, he's no longer a senator, but you know, this
There was another story. We'll take the PNID elsewhere.
I wanted to take the Navy commander that was killed.
Okay,
so
sure.
They're just giving us how it happened. So it's Bernard Simon, who used to be the secretary to the PTA, which he had sacked for being, for not acting properly. And his landlord had also asked him to leave his residence because she was not happy with his behavior. So he moved to church where he was the general secretary. I was in church that he came up with a plan to kill her, he and his nephew, Ibrahim Momo. So they said they got into her house through the garage. He tore her net, got in there, and she was killed and mutilated. We know what happened with her. Went back, took her cars and her valuables, gave one to Momo's wife. That's how the police found the laptop from her, and she said it was her husband and his uncle that gave her this. I mean, it was then her car that involved the 2 soldiers that followed her. He went back to ransack her house to see if he could find the vehicle papers, and he didn't find it. So he got those 2 soldiers as sureties for him. Those ones are facing another thing.
Let's move on very quickly to the Daily Sun. PNID, federal government gets execution stay order for $200 million. While Enugu Airport runway rehabilitation is yet to begin, it says FAN. Government raises another committee on 30,000 naira minimum wage. Picture here of U.S. to partner Wells Farms to boost food production. I was pretty excited about that.
Yes, I have.
A private company, Wells Farms, Greenhouse Farm actually. And what the U.S. is doing for him is they're inviting him over to a fair in the U.S. very soon, where he'll be meeting other stakeholders in other producers and manufacturers in the United States, and they can see what they can do to partner with him to improve on what he's already doing in Nigeria. So that's a great stuff. That's a great opportunity for him.
It's a green. I mean, it's a greenhouse farm, so it's like technology driven. Yes, and they think that is very unique and special.
Yes, so the federal government is telling everybody that they should be a bit more patient, that they are going to set up another committee to handle the minimum wage. And this time around, they are going to include the TUC. This was being said by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, that they will now include the TUC and the NLC, so that, because they're still having issues with the grade level 7 to 17, but they've sorted out from 1 to 6. So they are saying we should be a bit more patient. Now, the presidential committee, this last committee that is being set up is called the presidential committee. You know, the first committee that handled the issue was the tripartite committee. Then we had the adjustment committee, and now 3 committees on this issue, and we're still waiting. Honestly,
I think they're saying that our economy is in doldrums, so we should be more.
Moving on to the Punch, pay $250,000 in 14 days or forget appeal, says PNID. Police raid Kaduna home, free 300. They actually freed 300 inmates in chains. Businessman dies during sex with ex-lover. Gunmen kill policeman in Ikiti bank robbery. Kano group alleges fresh plot to dethrone Emir Sanusi. 9 billion naira poll cash. Oshimbajo can't drop immunity, says Sands. 35 states fail to provide workers insurance. PDP behind Tinubu Oshomole El Rufai's 2023 posters, says APC. Let's talk about this picture story. The young boys that were found in Kaduna.
Yeah, this is a really sad story. So in Kaduna on Thursday, the police raided a place which is described as a rehabilitation center / Islamic center. And they rescued 300 people who were in chains, children included. And according to one of the inmates there, he says that he was tricked into that place by his family. He was supposed to be going for his master's in South Africa, but he was tricked there so that his family can steal his inheritance from him. And that while you're there, they're being tortured and they're reading the Quran, they're doing their prayers while being tortured. If you try to escape, they'll tie your hands and hang you to the ceiling. And also that homosexuality was something that was right there, but you did not get punished for homosexuality. But the police have said this place does not look like any Islamic center or a rehabilitation.
And there was another account of a young man who actually was living in the UK for 16 years. He was tricked back home. And then he was put there because I think they said he was a Christian or something like that.
This is a clear story of
they're all from all over Africa.
Africa, West African countries. So this is not, this is the usual story of a bad child sent to rehabilitation home. It was rife when I was growing up to say, okay, just take this child to one Islamic center or to one cleric. We were discussing it, myself and my mentor yesterday night, about how not every so-called Alpha practices the religion, and they would have centers like this where they'll just recite anything in Arabic, and parents who don't understand the religion will say that's a religious place. They can groom him or reform him for me. Look at the situation that parents, usually when you come visiting, you're not allowed in, they'll bring your child out to you. People who have depression, who are going through schizophrenia, also are victims of things like this. A lot of these things are
they
across
were so
West Africa.
excited to see the Nigerian police. I
Yeah,
mean, I can actually see the expression.
Yes,
we saw the pictures with all their wounds, but
Yeah.
the principal is still saying that nobody was tortured. So I'm saying, so where did this happen?
No, this was like about the businessman that died.
Yeah, so I think that's becoming more popular now. This particular guy went into the hotel. It happened in Surulere, and the girlfriend ran out and was screaming. So the receptionist and some other people rushed in only for them to find out that the man was dead. So apparently after he had sex, he slumped. But then the family members are saying they're not going to press charges because it's obvious. Charges, wow. Yes, because they found one of them is a doctor and he found out that he actually died of cardiac arrest. So it's not the lady's fault and everything. Which is
don't mind, that's we being African now.
Let's move on to the PNID story. Nigeria granted leave to appeal to make $200 million security payments. Southern Middle Belt leaders restate opposition to Ruga proposed waterways bill. U.S. to partner Wells Farm to boost food production. That's the Nigerian Tribune. Benue police discover 11 corpses in kidnappers' secret graves.
Yes.
2019 poll, APC files cross-appeal to Supreme Court. Let's talk about the PNID for a second. Go ahead.
So the PNID, yesterday, Nigeria was able to get a stay of execution and leave to appeal the judgment. Usually when we're studying, I always wondered why you needed leave to appeal. But they got leave to appeal and they got a stay of execution yesterday. But the PNID is, and the court also gave a conditional leave. They didn't give us leave to appeal just like that.
$200 million.
You deposit that security for whatever outcome.
So if we win in the Supreme Court, we'll get back our money?
We most likely do. We will. Let me be
I hope
positive.
so, because
we will. But then the PNID is also insisting on the court's cost, the arbitration costs awarded to them, which is 250,000 naira, be paid within 14 days before anything progresses.
Okay.
So this is costing us at some point.
Ruga story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the Southern Middle Belt leaders are saying once again that they are in a position concerning the Ruga bill, and they are also saying that they are also against the waterways bill as well, saying that this is just a way for the government to gather land for people who are doing their private businesses. That is just like the government funding someone who is probably producing drinks and then selling to other people. You are using the state resources to fund a private business. So those people who are into that cattle rearing business should find a way to handle their businesses.
Very quickly to Vanguard, we talked about the 9.6 billion award already. Despite meeting bail conditions, DSS yet to release Showore, says Falano. No rift between Buhari and Oshibajo. Policeman killed, millions carted away as robbers attacked bank in Ekiti with explosive, amongst other stories. Let's take our vice president for a second. Go ahead.
Okay, so according to the APC Governors Forum, and this was...
No, it's a Progressive Governors Forum.
Progressive Governors. What they wrote to APC Governors, but the Progressive Governors Forum headed by our able Lagos State Governor was saying that what they see is a cordiality in carrying out their official activities, duties, and they don't see any rift between the vice president and the president. But Nima's stake, the wala that the president had to do by himself, asking his handlers to sue the people who... the president has insight on what is happening, at least on that 90-something. I would expect the presidency.
Yes.
Because this same VP, you should have seen the cordiality during election and whatever.
You would expect the president himself.
Yeah, someone should say something. Let's know whether you people are.
Because what the governor of Lagos State was saying was happening was the fact that at the NEC meetings that they're working very seamlessly, and that's the highest decision-making group in the country, and there are no issues. So in his own view, everything is good. Everything else we hear is gossip. And I'm thinking, is that enough to determine if there is issues?
The last 2 days have made me think
that there are issues.
The vice president actually stood alone. That's what I see. He spoke alone. He stood alone. He took his own business personally. Nobody. He didn't.
Nobody's responding on this. Information that there's more to this than meets the eye. So let's see what happens in the coming weeks. Let's talk about Sowore for a second. So
Sowore got bail and he's met all his bail conditions, and I wondered why the DSS is still holding him, even though the court had also threatened to arrest the Director General of the DSS if Sowore is not released. He's still being held and he's not been charged for another crime. He's fulfilled his bail terms. We don't want another Dasuki or Ozazaki on our hands.
Let's run very quickly to Daily Trust. UK court allows Nigeria to appeal $9.6 billion judgment. My illness pushed me to steal baby, says a suspect. Fact check, no evidence, 80 million Yoruba live in Brazil. Benue, 30 corpses uncovered in mass graves. And NCC blocks 2 million improperly registered SIM cards.
So Oluwatoyin Lasisi is a lady who claims to have some sort of mental illness that affects her reasoning. She's being held in the police station for allegedly kidnapping a 3-year-old girl called Nimotala Suleiman.
That's my name actually.
I know it's new. It's Nimotala.
Yoruba pronunciation.
Yes, Yoruba way of saying it.
Call her.
This 3-year-old, according to her father, said to her mom she wanted to use the toilet. So her mom took her to this refuse dump and left her there to go ahead. The alleged kidnapper sees her and picks her up. She says in her mind she picked her up to protect her from being kidnapped by ritualists. And she took her home until her neighbors insisted where she got it from. According to the alleged kidnapper, she was on her way to the police station when people mobbed her and then took her to the police station. It's just her reasoning. Sometimes it doesn't work quite properly.
Unfortunately,
thank God daughter is safe.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on the front page review. When we come back, we have quite a number of stories we saw on the social media. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Nigerians are reacting over a trending story online about a man who was confused whether to give a job slot to his sister or his girlfriend. Wait, what? He was recently given a slot to bring somebody in for a job, so he took to his Twitter page to seek for advice on whom to choose. Join us on the show is the founder and executive producer, Real Niger Ladies of Dallas, Jennifer Mairo. In the building. Yes, good to have you back.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We'll come to your gist so much later, but let us first invite our viewers. You can call us on 070-80668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So this gentleman has to choose between his sister and his girlfriend. Both of them are qualified for this job. And obviously it's just one slot. So who should he go with?
For me, just be practical. It's better to go with your sister because this is the way I look at it. Right now, he's taking care of his family's needs. So he's taking care of mom, sister, as well as girlfriend, right? So what if you take care of sister? So 2 of you are able to take care of mom. So you don't need to take care of sister anymore. There's more funds together to take care of mom.
The right of the he tell you he was taking care of his family. Yeah, assuming.
I'm just
Just
listen. I'm doing the math for you because it's very likely for him to even be thinking of what to do for the sister. Because if you look at this, is someone that's quite in touch with family because he says his sister is working somewhere, is not really earning her a bit, but she's waiting for a proper job. So here we are. Mom, sis need help. Fix that, and then all you need to do, as per Nigerian style, where boyfriend takes care of girlfriend, that's the only person you need to take care of. Because if you give the job to girlfriend, she may not be girlfriend for too long, she may not be in your life for forever. Then also, you still have to take care of mom, sister, and girlfriend. So you see?
All right, thanks
easy
for
peasy.
taking us to
I've solved your problem.
Girlfriend is working, I'm still going to take care of girlfriend?
Well, Nigeria.
Okay, yeah, Nigeria. That's how we roll here.
Yeah.
Don't spoil our market for us.
Okay, so what would you do, Reggie?
Okay, for me, I was upset that he was asking the question in the first place. Is he okay? Blood is thicker than what? Zobo now. That's the first thing. How can you be asking, comparing your girlfriend and your sister? If it's a wife, that is blood by marriage. It's a girlfriend. Yes. That's true now. A girlfriend that may even dump you later on. You've not heard of that kind of thing. It's your sister first. The only thing that will make me start thinking in that direction is, let's take, for instance, the sister is not a reasonable person, or the sister may not be able to, no, not about qualification, the sister may not be able to handle that
responsibility, the role.
Yeah, aside from the role, there are people who don't have integrity. So the sister may go there and mess up the family name. That's the only way you even consider, should I give it to somebody else? Absolutely. But as long as both of them are qualified, blood should come first. Now, let me give you an instance. I had a job to give, furniture making, and I had a family member who was very good. At the same time, I had a friend who was very good. The first thing I should have done, or I wanted to do, was to give it to my family member. But when I asked questions, people were like, this person will mess you up, and he will say, because he's you shouldn't even complain. And the person who's handling the job is someone that I don't want to portray my family in a bad light. And so I gave that job to the friend, because I know that the person has integrity and will deliver. But if, for instance, both of them had integrity, it's my family.
We're not misplacing the place of love. You're in love with this girl. This is your heart. She's everything you've ever wanted in a woman, and she's in a desperate need to have a job. And because we're acting as if, oh, my sister, but truly, when a man is in love, man is in love. You don't love, and you feel that a sister is a given. I mean, that's agape love. I mean, definitely, it's there, with or without the girlfriend. But this is somebody you are head over heels fallen in love with. Okay. And she needs a job. Many guys will probably want to give their girlfriend that job.
In Africa, in Nigeria.
Asking the question.
Probably. Let me come to you.
I would say sister, but now that Mariah's put it like that, I'm totally flipping to the other side.
Because I'm trying to see the other side. Yeah,
there's some things that your girlfriend can do for you that your sister never can.
Hallelujah,
anybody can do that.
No, my sister can't do it though. Let my sister just stay in her place. Because I'm just being honest right now. Yeah. So if I need my girlfriend to be actively working,
yes, so
make sure that
to be happy, so that we can get that benefits.
And it's possible that for him to be thinking about it, this is a girlfriend that they have something strong going.
Exactly.
This could be his wife. Because really, if this is just the girl from the school in Akoka,
he
wouldn't have bothered to ask. So let's just go for the purpose of assuming that they are really close and this could lead to marriage. I would say give it to the girlfriend.
Because he's thinking futuristically. This might be my wife. This is somebody they're going to start a family with.
And I like this kind of guy. He values me to the point that he's thinking about his sister and me. That means when he marries me, I'll be controlling things. Yes, now. I don't like all those kind of sister brothers that are so in love with sisters. Sometimes it can be very detrimental.
Since we are thinking, there's a conflict of interest here. It's obvious that, whoever you give it to, there's still a conflict of interest. Why not give it to a complete stranger qualified as well? Yes.
When both of them have...
Yes. No. Yes, so when there's on the girlfriend side, there's a conflict of relationship. That interest, of course, is biased. On the sister side, there's a bias of my bloodline as well. Me, to be fair and neutral, give it to a total third party who is qualified to do the job.
See, hell no. You know how to solve this matter, eh? No. Send two of them to go and interview. Open the job to both. No. Open the job to both of them. Let the interviewer or the owner of the job assess them.
Send two of them and some other person.
No, leave some other person. See, the thing is, for me, I want the job to come either to my girlfriend or my sister. I'm trying to protect my family here for whatever reason. So I'm not calling an outsider when I have two people who are qualified to do the job.
Call. Good morning. Are you there? Like to join the conversation?
Good morning,
Thanks for calling, Rotimi.
Yeah, this is the pastor calling from Mairo.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, the topic of discussion this morning is quite interesting. Left for me, yes, I'm here. Left for me, yeah, I think I've tried similar issue before. I will tell you for free, man. If you give your girlfriend the job, someone else will take the girlfriend from you.
That was where I was going.
No, that's not where you're going.
It's a personal experience. I've tried that with a lady who I was dating. I was working as a PA to my MD in my company, and we need a receptionist. I brought her before I got to know she was dating another customer who was giving her money.
Oh, you weren't giving her money?
Yes. Secondly, ma, I have another mate, a young girl, and we needed a cleaner. The director brought somebody. Silently, I brought her my niece. I brought her in. I was not very used to her. I was not very close to her. Then I was living in Antony Village. I was not very close to her. She was living in Ambodo.
Are you there? Oh, sugar.
She seems to have a lot of experience with choosing who to. But for me, I think that it's best to give it to family. See, the way we do things in my family is like, see, we don't come from a lot. We have to all put in our resources together and build each other and build a strong foundation. So I would always go to family first. And then within family, if it's within family, I'll go for who is the most qualified or who is the most responsible.
Let me bring it to the, because let me bring it to the Yoruba context, because the Yoruba family sometimes feel as if don't bring family into your space. And they know too much about what's going on in your life. So they know, oh, she's at this level. She gets this amount of money. Before you know it, everybody in your family knows how much you're earning. Yeah. Oh, you're at this level. Oh, she has this. And that's not coming to you for problems, to solve problems. So people would rather just give it out to an outsider. Don't bring family in your space.
It affects your politics as well. No, it makes sense.
Mairo, that's different from, because I don't think he's the one going to be directly working with them. It's helping.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, he got the opportunity to help get them a job outside. Now, let's go back to, we are mothers. You have a son, right? You have a son. You have a son. And you have boys. And tomorrow, your son comes, wait, now the same thing. That's, you have more than one. Now we have one. That I know you have to, you have boys. So tomorrow, your son comes to, Mommy, I want to give, I have an opportunity, and I know Bimbo is ripe for this opportunity. But you know that babe that I brought home the other day now? That one too is, and the mother will be looking at you. Like,
now,
you should
imagine,
consider it.
No, process that. Now imagine the mother is Shola Shubali. You can just imagine the drama she's giving.
Remember, we are trying to assume that this girl is more than just the girl that came home that day.
They never marry him. They would have said,
no, but the way the guy is thinking about it now.
They would have said your wife. If it's a wife, I don't have a problem. A wife is family. A wife will stay.
Okay, so
look at the experience of the man now.
So, wife, between the wife and the sister.
Wife. My goodness. Who cares about the sister?
You're building your nuclear family.
Exactly.
Nobody cares about sister.
When it comes to family.
When husband and wife are talking, sisters,
keep quiet.
Line up.
That doesn't work that way. Some sisters, listen, in some families, some sisters are there because the sisters are the oldest in the family, and they're the one to be taking care of that, your husband. The husband you're so much in love with. The sister was there for him when you were not there.
That place you're going,
I'm going there.
Different place.
I'm going there.
On that place, can I just say something?
Yes.
Sister, marry your own husband. Because I did not leave my father's house to come and squat in your brother's house.
Thank you.
I married him. This
yes,
is my home.
it's my home.
Sister, please pack well.
Pack well.
Please. With all due respect, think, okay, put yourself in the sister's shoes.
I will be packing
That's
well.
your brother.
Sister, listen,
it's easy for you to say these things, though. But you all have sons.
Yeah.
And there's this connection between there's this connection between a brother and a sister. This is somebody that's been with him all his entire life. So, now, she's not trying to come and take your place.
Right.
Understand? But she's also letting you know that, listen, I am just as important to him as you are.
You are not just as important.
They're playing different roles.
It depends on the second.
Let me give this example. So the two siblings, a boy and a girl, terribly close, entirely close. They grew up. They now marry my auntie's friend. The first thing sister did was to pitch herself opposites. So they were both dragging the husband left, right, and center.
Imagine.
She did that for years, about 6 years before she found love. She now got married. And I did the same thing to her.
Yes, sir.
Was squatting. I was squatting your brother. She now needed someone to confide in. She now came to our Orogo of years. How do you rationalize it?
Yeah.
Always look forward. You know the way we have cautioned ourselves in Nigeria, you are going to go to your own home. Condition your mind and prepare for your own home.
You know what? Let me invite sisters out there. Please call on the show.
Call.
Yeah. If you know you are very close to your brother and you have a relationship with his wife, or maybe don't, call us. Let's hear your thoughts. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're talking about sisters, quote unquote, invading the siblings' home or being part of their brother's marriage and all that, or even their sister's marriage. But the point is having your sisters around all the time. Now, if you want to be a wise woman, a prophet, is it Proverbs 31 woman?
Yeah.
Being very, very wise. If you have a sister-in-law that comes in that way, instead of being rebellious or trying to reject it, maybe is it not profitable for you to submit to her counsel, you know, because sister, because you're learning about your husband more from her. Are you not better? Listen, are you not better off being close to your sister-in-law, even though she's invading your house, to learn more about your husband and know the things he likes? Because as you do that, eventually she realizes that you are part of the family. Eventually she might just leave her.
Before Nima jumps in, let me quickly say, because she's warming up. Let me quickly say that it depends on how reasonable this sister in question is. Because if you have a reasonable person, myself, for example, when I met my boyfriend in school and then I met the siblings, they loved me. We clicked. Till today, we plan cool on my husband. Right. Till today. My marriage is 11 years now. We are very, very close because they were reasonable. They understood their place. I understood my place, and we blended. But I have a friend who was unfortunate for her, and she met someone who was not unreasonable. And then the person wants to lord it over. Is my brother's house. I can come in without taking permission. I can get into the pot and take whatever I want. I can demand for so and so amount. It's my brother's house.
Okay, let me ask you that. So still on that. Yeah. Can't a wise woman find a way around that? Must we be rebellious? Yes, so there are some women, there's sisters like that. But instead of encouraging
the women now, I don't understand.
Yes, now. To do the work.
The sister too is a woman now, woman to woman. Let's help ourselves. Why are we fighting ourselves?
So
okay, I was in such a situation in my own family, and I apologize ahead. What I did simply was step aside. It took 4 years. I only attend on ceremonies, on namings, and maybe a few birthdays. In fact, birthdays, I forgot about it. But today, what happened? When the wife realized how much it meant, because that relationship was valuable to family anytime, is valuable to me. She renewed the relationship, and today I have a closer relationship with her than my brother.
Let me take Adesua's call. She hold it for you. Adesua, are you still there?
Yes, please.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good day, ladies.
Good day.
Yeah. You know, life is a very funny thing. You know, we have a way of, how will I call it now? Hello?
We are hearing you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I say life is very funny, you know, and we all have, human beings by nature have a way of being selfish, you know, but we need to know at every given time in life, sometimes we are in the sister level, sometimes we are in the wife level. You know, and most times we always picture things from where we are, not how it is supposed to be. When we're in the sister level, we say all sorts of things. The wife is the devil, the wife is this. When we're in the wife level, we say the sister is this, sister is that. And that is where the problem is. We need to learn how to be neutral. And this comes when we need to see how it is. We need to be real and be true. Right.
Thank you very much for that, Adesua. Jennifer, let me come to you. In your own case, do you think you could ever be a threat to your brother's family?
I stay being a threat. Like, I walk in already a threat.
Oh, really?
Without any intention. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I was saying on the break, I'm very close with my brothers that I know that if I wanted to be a casala buster, I would. I can pull those strings.
Wow.
But of what benefit is it to my family for that to be happening? You know, so I have to...
What if your sister-in-law is not doing something that you like? You don't
I don't care. Let them deal with it.
They'll deal with it.
As long as you don't like blatantly disrespect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Disrespecting maybe my mother and things like that, and of which I would only have a conversation. I can't come to my brother's house and manage the semantics of his home. It's really not that serious.
And I like you
and
for that.
I feel like the sisters who are so interested in their brothers' homes really have messed up relationships themselves.
They do.
Exactly.
I promise.
Yes, they do.
I'm too busy managing these 100 children that I birth and trying to write checks for bills to be worried about what's happening.
In your
I'm
brother's house.
Yeah, and I'm not here for your amusement, really.
You make a valid point because a lot of like the Nollywood movies that we watch, the stories where the in-laws, the sister comes into the home is usually she has serious marital issues.
Exactly.
She's trying to have a child. She's frustrated for so many things. And then she sees her brother doing what she hopes, expects her husband to do for her.
Exactly.
It's like,
Then
we
she's telling
suffered together. How
you
come
doing
you're the
all
one
this
now enjoying the fruit of our labor and here I am?
imagine?
So sometimes it depends on where that person is coming from.
But you
and
guys
she
have not
comes in
answered the
that
question
way.
that I've been trying to ask
Okay.
since.
Please ask
I
again.
see all the issues. I don't understand that. But there's one way of approaching it. Tell the sister to get out. Fine, that's one approach. Or tell the sister to keep away from their family. But there's another approach of humility on the part of the wife or even the husband. There's a part of you using some kind of wisdom on how to manage your sister-in-law better, because let us also understand that it takes two to tango. There's a way the wife might behave such that the sister-in-law might actually be repentant of her behavior, such that she's willing to be more friendlier with the family.
Let me just quickly try to answer this with a life example of a brief I got. So 9 years, because the woman was willing like you, 9 years she gave her sister-in-law duties to cook in her house. She never receives housekeeping money. Cooking and everything is done by the sister-in-law. And that one, don't forget, say, at time don't go. She's living someone else's life.
Hey!
She's not in a
I'm confused
valid
by what you're
relationship. Good.
Who is doing the work?
So
The
the
wife?
sister-in-law comes into the house.
Okay.
And then you don't cook well for my brother. And before you know it,
Kind of chicken man
you've been
is that?
cooking for 9 years.
Wait,
wait,
You
who's
take-
cooking for 9
The
years?
sister-in-law cooks for the family.
Nine.
Husband's sister.
And dishes the brother's food while the wife is watching.
Meaning
Saying,
waiting.
I don't want to confront her. I don't want to be,
Okay.
I don't want to be like,
Okay.
Why is it a problem? I
Okay.
have a free cook.
Hold on a minute.
Okay,
Hold
okay,
on
let
a
her
minute.
finish.
Now,
Okay.
back to the sister, because no, we sorted out the woman. I've told her, you're having a ball, but a problem came up, and that's why I wanted to do divorce for them. So now, yours is settled, but the sister in question, she's not seeing it. Her life is just, she's living someone else's life.
9 years.
She's not focusing on herself.
Yes, that happens.
I would rather tell my brother, get used to eating your wife's food anyhow she cook am.
Yes,
Please
so-
don't bother me.
Why can't
Okay.
the husband just go?
Why can't you go and get a cook?
Or get a chef.
Okay, no.
What's your problem? Don't involve me. Am I loving you by
can't
default?
you chef?
I'm
I
living your
understand.
life. I'm loving
Mariah,
you
you
like
get
that.
what she's saying. So it's not always about the wife
It's not
being
about the wife. She's in the
about the
house.
wife trying to protect her territory. It's also about the sister making sure that she has a life. Because you may very well find out that in many years to come you have nothing left, but you're now just
Somebody's
you're cook and nanny.
Simply put, you're just someone's
You
cook.
know that
Why
when the
do you
children
just someone's cook.
and when the children come, you
Without salary.
will become a babysitter. That's it.
That's all.
No
Why
life.
do Nigerian
That's your life.
women? I'm Nigerian. But that's not what I'm trying to say. Why do we care so much about our husbands eating food? I just want to.
This is Africa.
This
You
is
have
what
to cook for
happened.
your husband.
So this
please let me
woman
know?
actually got used to the ease of it, and then a problem comes. She just finds out she's not her husband is not. She's not the first person he listens to. So and I was like, when you're eating together,
Okay,
they don't eat.
Let me take Joy. Let me take Joy has been holding for a
This
while.
house
Joy,
was
are you still
grown.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. Hello, go ahead, please.
Okay. To me, I think if
Can't hear you. Joy, we can't hear you. Speak louder, please. Okay, we lost that call.
Right. If you meet somebody, it's always advisable to teach them how to treat you. Now, a lot of people have different ways they handle issues. So you get into a place and the sister is all over the place and it doesn't work with your personality. I like to take control of my home. So that kind of relationship will not work for my personality. I will bring it to the fore. Baby, we need to discuss this. I'm not comfortable the way your sister wants to be taking money and be cooking for you when I'm there, meaning that I'm a chef. I don't understand. So what am I doing for you? We'll put that out there. And then if the sister refuses to change, I will show you my color. I'm from Delta State. I will not take nonsense from
Yes,
you.
honey, yes.
Bang.
But at what point in the relationship do you actually tell this boyfriend this? So you know those type of things.
Husband now.
Oh, husband. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, because I feel like you might not want to be too forward.
I
Because
need to
there are
ask you a
some
question.
things-
Do you cook for your husband?
I do.
Okay.
When I'm feeling like it.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue. Or we'll switch the topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a few tweets from the last topic.
Okay,
Yes,
so
go ahead.
Garth George says, my sister is the one who is qualified for the job. My girlfriend is not qualified for that job in any way. He has made his decision. Andrew Stratham says, in true cold business decision, I'll give it to a third party. I know my own sister is industrious, but she has enjoyed my generosity. I go with Nima's decision. I understand Miriam's decision, but if you don't want drama, don't.
White Lion says, the man is the head of the house. If he cannot set the rules, it's wrong. The sister has no right without the approval of the man. It takes two of them to make the home. The sister should understand that it's not her father's house. Dapo says, a girlfriend is not a wife and she's not yet part of the family. The slot will be given to my sister. A girlfriend can leave me, but my sister cannot.
Okay, PJ Comedian says, family is family, yes, but if the girlfriend will soon become wife, I think it's better he gives it to her. In fact, once she starts the job, he just changes her status to fiancé, let's say, and start planning walking down the aisle with her. Fabulous Lopez says, I'm close to my brother and they had a misunderstanding and his wife of a few years left. Family is still standing for him, so you can't take the place of blood or siblings.
Okay. Exactly. So if you have a crazy wife, trust me, your sibling is the one going to stand with you. Family is, blood is thicker than water.
Have you seen where family lives?
You don't know siblings. Some kind users of siblings. Some kind users.
I've seen the worst.
Why are you talking siblings as if you don't know siblings?
There's some, we agree, there's some crazy men.
But it won't be the whole family that will be that crazy.
There's a crazy men, like some crazy wives. So if you have a crazy wife, wouldn't you be thankful that your sister is around to keep her in check?
I don't understand. Keep her in check. Is she a baby?
You should understand.
You that married
You're supposed to keep your wife in check. Nobody else is supposed to keep your wife in check for you.
How about nobody check me?
Train your horse.
How about if you try to check me, we'll start fighting?
Exactly.
How about that? I don't want to be checked.
I know somebody. Let me find a way to tell this story so they don't know this person. I know somebody that his wife beats him. I know the person. And the wife is stocky. She beats this guy. The guy is slim and tall. Now, imagine he had a sister that was there.
We beat them together.
Let me tell you what.
Go and get a divorce.
How will he go and tell his sister that the wife is beating me?
We beat them together. No. That's another issue.
Ended sadly because it also made the papers. So this man kills his mother-in-law, his sister-in-law, and her child. He says every time he gets into a fight with his wife, they come and beat him. So he went to the house and he killed them because he was tired of being beaten. So please, don't go and beat somebody's husband or somebody's wife. Let that person handle
Let's
the
just close
situation.
on. If a man is being beaten by the wife, nothing shameless. I met one whose wife, I don't know whether she has 3 spirit powers, but anytime she beats him, he peels on his knees. And I simply said, Oga, I think she drags him, she flings him around. Where this woman gets power from, please. It's the same domestic violence. So
he
just divorce.
If you're a man, and your wife is beating you, please call the show. We'd like to hear what's going on.
It happens. It's the same thing.
I would really like to hear from that man what is going on in
And you
that
shouldn't
house.
be ashamed to share it.
You call now. Uno is
Shouldn't be ashamed.
Please,
we should stop shaming them.
If your husband, if your wife is beating you, please call the show right now.
Please leave the marriage first. So you need your life to be
I think these men don't want to hit them back. Maybe that's where it's coming from.
No. But this one admitted that 2 times he tried.
So my question to you ladies is that if a man is being beat up by his wife, what should he do?
He should speak up quickly.
Speak up to who? This ego.
He should
put that ego down and speak up
to
who?
To
father, to your parents, to your siblings, to your church, to your
No, 2 things.
to the lawyer. You must speak up because
2 things. Submit to her.
No.
Can you
I'm not saying.
I know what she's doing.
Know that what is he doing that is making her beat him?
No.
I'm so sorry.
There's no Mariah, there's no angle.
He has to love his wife. He has to understand. It's for better for worse. You know, if you are acting well, this woman will not be beating you.
Jesus. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay. The issue here, to me, I think is personal, individual difference.
Okay.
Because, yes, because personally I have 2 brothers and I can do anything for them. But as it stands now, I've already started detaching from them emotionally because they will get married. And sometimes we don't like giving people space. For God's sake, if you are married or your brother is married, just understand that that day you follow him to go and do that marriage, there is
It's gone.
a difference between all of you. Yes, he loves you, but he has to take care of his family. Whatever happens there, as a family, we can support, but we don't go inside and dance Kelewude. And also on the issue, I think still on individual difference, the person may choose to give to the girlfriend after weighing all options, or may give to the sister. Some of our sisters, we are not sincere. We will just, because it's our brother's thing, we will do it anyhow. Anyway, that's my view.
Thank you very much for calling.
Mariah, let's be serious now, so that it won't look like we're always supporting women. The same advice we give to women who are being abused is the same advice we should give to men who are being abused. So if you are abused, it's not about submitting. An abuser does not care about your submission. There's always an excuse to be beaten. So whether you submit or not is inconsequential. You should seek help or run away from that marriage. You need your life. I don't want to say the exact person who it is, very close relative who was beating this man. And she ended up killing him. Because the man couldn't speak up, he was shy. How do you tell your friends that your wife is beating you? So swallow that your ego, like Miriam said, with ogbono soup and seek help. If you need to leave, you can leave that. It's not a do or die affair to stay married.
That's speaking serious. That's the situation. But what Jennifer just said here, that's flipping the table. So a woman gets beaten, and what did you even do to him? How do you talk to him? I wonder how people ask these questions. Somebody will be telling you, my husband beats me on a daily, and the first question is, how do you talk to him? Do you love him? Do you used to rub back? Do you wash his clothes?
As if I came here to
serious questions. Talking to an adult, you're saying that somebody else is beating that adult and you're trying to rationalize the violence involved. That's flipping the table. But seriously, what you just said is the truth. We can't continue to shy away from the fact that some women have a testosterone. Testosterone that,
the lady from Mairo was saying concerning the marriage and all that. There are some men, actually, when they do get married, they just have that connection to their sister. And they're constantly in touch with them, asking questions. What do you think? How should I do this? Every single decision he wants to make, he confides in his sister. Because he's so linked to that sister. Now, if you are that kind of person, you try to keep away, but the man keeps drawing you that, he needs you in his life. How do you handle that kind of situation?
No, you just have to find, I'm sorry. You just have to find the balance and just be respectful of this situation. That's how I feel. Because like I said, I'm really close with my brothers. In fact, I don't know that their wives know certain things that they tell me. But, you have to, especially, just be kind.
Do you make an attempt to be friends with the wives?
We are friends. I mean, look at me. If you came to my family, wouldn't you want to be my friend? Exactly. So I'm cool with them. But the point is, you have to try to remove yourself when these things happen. When my brothers tell me things, they're not necessarily maybe reporting their wives to me per se. But when they give me, I'm like, oh, this is how I would handle it. This is how I would. I think that's the only position. And yes, it is true that if I come into a space and there are sisters, I originally come with humility, really, knowing that, especially if the sisters are older than I am. If I'm older, of course I'm older. But if they're older and maybe they have their own thing, I come in trying to be nice. But if they want to try me...
Okay, let me take this call from Tunde from Abuja. Morning, are you there?
Yeah, Tunde is there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Tunde is there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I'd like to make my contributions. You see, on the issue of your sister or your wife, we need to understand that every marriage is unique. You see, a lot of people go into marriage after looking at what happens around them with other people's marriage, and they want to bring it into their own marriage. And when you are there, you have started something that you didn't plan for before. You are not seeing your marriage as very unique, as something you want to grow up with. You have this idea that, look, a sister is bad, a wife is bad. You're not bringing it into your marriage, which is wrong. Then on the issue of job, I think it all depends, because sometimes you look at your siblings. When you give this job to your siblings, what benefit will you derive? That is from the family. Will the sibling just leave you and the family and start living his own life without thinking of anybody. And if the friend is that kind of person who will look after you or after some other people in the family, why not give it to them? It all depends on the situation.
Thank you very much today. Now, I know somebody that she's the first of the family. I think it's a family of 6. She's the only girl, and she has 5 brothers. So they see her as their second mom.
Yeah.
Now, they're all married, and the woman has a very successful marriage. A very happy home she has. But her siblings, her younger brothers, are having issues. And they keep feeling as if, okay, maybe their wives should learn from their own sister, that because she's like a role model. But the wife was thinking,
their sister.
they obviously admire their sister, so they're hoping that they can have that kind of marriage. But their wives are rebellious, saying, I don't need your sister in my life. I don't want her close to us. But they keep having issues. So in that kind of situation, wouldn't you advise the brother, the brother, to find a way to bring the sister in to help the counsel?
No, not to bring the sister in, to stop trying to copy the sisters in their wives. No, every person is a package. Every single person is different. It's a total package. I think I've been in such a situation once when I felt I was being compared to someone and I didn't like it. I am me. When you accept your wife and her flaws and perfections the way she is, I think life is easier to adjust to, because you don't know how your sister can, you don't know what her limits are, what she can take, what she's taking in her marriage.
I understand.
And you start to dish it to your wife, it might not be what she can take.
Yeah. So Mairo, I agree too. You shouldn't make that comparison, because if they're going to make that comparison, the wives may as well say to them, find out what her husband is doing that is making her home happy. So the important thing is, you really need to understand that everybody is different. And so they should work on it individually. I know that there are some times where just even the fact that you seem so perfect, the fact that you seem like you have everything will cause someone to make sure that they don't want to have anything to do with you. It's not easy to constantly be in a relationship where you see yourself being compared to someone else and being told that, well, you don't cook as well, you're not doing as well. And you find most people who sort of move away from, especially people that are in family homes, they tell you they have issues. You know, everybody is married and they all live in one compound. The ones that tend to stay away from the compound seem to flourish. Do you understand? Because that comparison is always on top of you.
Let me take this call from Theophilus. Morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, I'm talking about 2 things. First, the one about the job, your girlfriend or your sister. I want to advise, from our point of view, you don't give a job to your girlfriend. You don't. Your girlfriend is your girlfriend. Give the job to your sister. If she screws up, you can always sack her, because you both know from the beginning, you know how to deal with her. Then the issue of marriage, every marriage is very much different. My advice is date for a while. Date for some time. Get to know whether you can manage the excesses or the bad things about the person you are about to go into that marriage relationship with. That you know each other before you get married. And there is no premise for comparison. Every marriage is different, it's unique in itself. Because as different as our characters are, the same characters we are taking into the marriage, things are going to turn out different in every home. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I say this all the time. Here's one of the problems with this whole role or sister family situation that I think is a fact. When we go into marriages, not these days, period, we have the tendency of going in with a generic rule book that have been written by somebody that nobody has met. Until you and I, as a team, decide what is a law in this union. There is no other law that counts. If in Mariah's house, wives cook, congratulations, Mariah. But if in this house, husband and wife has to fry the egg together, this is our law today. So once we start making our laws, put in our own bucket and make it ours, like I can go out at night. Maybe it's because of where I live, I don't know. And I'm not saying it's every day, but
not go out at night.
I'm just giving an example.
No,
I can go out with my friends and be back at 3 a.m. And it's not a problem in my home. Now, if I do that 7 days a week, I'm sure it'll be a problem. But in Nigeria or in someone else's, you can't do that. It makes you look bad or however you want to say it.
Irresponsible is the word.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? So if my mother-in-law were to come to my house and see me return at 3, I'm sure it's going to be a problem for her. Because in her head, that's not a responsible woman thing. But in my own home,
it works.
Girl, do you?
All right, let me take this call from Victor. I'll come to you eventually. Victor, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay. In the issue of job opportunity, to give a job, I will give it to my sister.
Thinking about it.
Because a girlfriend can always abandon you, except on the circumstances where you just want to do it, not because she's your girlfriend.
Sorry, Victor.
Yeah, so I'm in a position.
We lost that call.
I'm in a position where I'm the first of my father and the only girl. So I have brothers behind me, and they want their girlfriends to be like BC. So when they have a girlfriend, they're like, I want you to see her. I want her to come and learn how to cook. I want her to come and learn how to do this and how to do that. So what I do in that situation is I do what I call a pushback. So you discuss something with me and I ask you, have you spoken to your girlfriend? That's the first person that should hear. It takes a place of humility to know that I'm not going to live their lives for them. I have my own problems as it is, but they are not seeing my problems. They are seeing the fact that I appear perfect and they want, but they don't know that I'm a very stubborn wife. My husband
here.
My husband is still fighting that one till tomorrow. They don't see all of that. So what I do is I just push it back. No, that person is the person you should talk to about this first.
Okay, so we talked about this quite a bit, but I want to flip the switch a bit because of what we talked about, men being battered. I want us to go back to that topic. And the reason I wanted to go back to that topic is because there are some men who have personalities that are just, they're introverts. They don't like trouble. They try to be respectful sometimes. They try to understand that you're a woman and they don't want to engage in that kind of back and forth. But some women take advantage of this and shout down on their spouses, beat them up sometimes, or talk about them to everybody they can find. A man in that situation is, because of his training and his background, he's trying really hard to comport himself, but he's being battered. That kind of person, how can we help that kind of a man?
The only thing I have with the way you describe this introverted, calm person is you describe him as almost weak and unable to make a decision. That's
I don't want to use the word weak, but possibly
so that's what,
he could come across as weak. In his mind, he's not weak, but he could come across as weak.
Yeah, so it comes across that way. And that's the problem a lot of people have with personalities like that. That I do not speak up, that I do not scream and shout, and I am not aggressive, does not make me weak. It's just that my style of getting things done is done differently. So someone like that are most likely to give you a very long rope, and you will do all your mess up. And when the person gets up, I'm like, see, madam, we have done this. There's no begging anymore. I mean, we have done this for so years. This is the pattern. I can't do this anymore. Most people you find that way get up and leave after a while. So they're not constantly engaging you. There's no constant back and forth. There's no hitting back and things like that. They just once or twice, I don't like this. I think this should stop. Or they get to a point, some people will say, I've taken your abuse, but I would never have you put your hand to slap me. You hear some women say, but another woman has slapped your husband several times. I did not mean anything. But for that sort of person, just raising your hand is enough, and that's everything.
Deal breaker.
So it does not necessarily make that person a weak person, just that it's giving you a long rope.
They're weak men, though. I hope you understand. I must confess, I've beaten a man up in the market before. And he was holding a knife. No. And I know that man must have been weak because I was such a young girl. The slaps I gave him, I went at him. So he couldn't do anything. He had a knife, but he wouldn't.
Let me take Adegboyega. Let you read the tweet. Adegboyega, are you still there?
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, let me quickly cite an instance here, please. Let me make a comparison of maybe in a neighborhood, we have a child, and we have two brothers or two persons there. So among these two persons, maybe one of them do treat the child fairly, very well. Maybe going out, he comes back, he buys things for the child. Then the other is a kind of a sadist, like he frowns at the child every time. Now tell me, whenever the brother is coming, and maybe two of them are coming at the same time, they beckon on the child. Which of them would the child respond to first?
The nice one.
That's the angle at which you should see this thing. Because it's not a general thing, it's a personal thing. We really can't say how fair the sister had been to the brother and how fair the girlfriend are. What is their contribution to the person's life that could make them earn that position to work for the
That's
person?
real talk.
That is the thing. So we need to stop treating issues like this with emotions. We should treat it the way it should be treated. A lot of people are only saying it because they want to be fair. If the girlfriend is more fairer to me, I will give the job to her because most family these days doesn't even want good for you. That's why we have brothers from another mother these days. We have sisters from another mother that are even more fairer and good to you than your relative. That is the truth.
Thank you, Adegbefa, for that objective angle.
So there's a trending tweet. Gentle is the one who tweeted that today I slapped a man and he slapped me back. People, this guy legit slapped me back. How dare you slap a woman back?
Okay, so woman.
How dare you? A man is not meant to return such a favor. I mean, how on earth will a sensible man slap a woman just because she slapped him? This is not.
Is she serious?
This is not the world.
I know.
It's the real
Why
world.
would she slap him in the first
Was it
place?
in 1800?
You were violent. Today, this is today. She tweeted. So someone shared it and tweeted at us. So it comes back to the topic as well.
Yeah.
Men.
When a wife slaps her, she doesn't expect him to retaliate.
Why are you even slapping your husband?
Why
What
are
kind
you
of
provoking
wife
violence? If you provoke violence, you better be ready for whatever reaction.
Listen, I have heard plenty stories. We on this table have heard plenty stories. A woman, you are the one that maybe, for example, you helped him pay his school fees, right? You married him. Listen now, I'm describing the psyche of the woman that is beating her husband. She paid him his way through school. They finally got married. She's not been paying the bills. He hasn't been able to get a job. He's doing everything in the house. She loves him. He does the other room very well, and that's pretty much what she's getting. Just that. But there's really no value, according to her. Now, he now has the audacity to spend all your money, bring in his family into the house, do everything that makes you provoked. That provokes you practically.
You resort to beating.
And then you have no other way to beat him. I'm telling you the scenarios you've heard.
Let me give you this analogy. So, have you not disappointed yourself sometimes? Is there anybody here who hasn't disappointed themselves?
We all have.
We all have. Have you ever slapped yourself?
No.
You haven't. So when you are married and two became one, that person is you. So for you to lift a hand on that person, that means you are beating yourself, whether it's a man or is a woman. We all fail ourselves. I said I was going to save at the beginning of this year. Till today, Coco no dem account. In fact, I watched the show yesterday, and I said I'm coming for classes on budgeting. I have embarrassed and disappointed myself till today. But I haven't killed myself. I have empathy towards myself. I explain it. Oh, it's because I bought those shoes and I like those shoes. And I can't help it. But then when my spouse does the same thing I have done,
ready to slap.
or even less than what I have done, I start hitting. So we need to get to a point where we see our spouses and ourselves.
Yes. The standards are definitely...
I like that.
No. The standards are definitely different when it's for somebody else. And, you know, I have this debate all the time with my husband. Oh, you shouldn't be doing it. I'm like, well, you do it all the time. Like, why is mine different? So I agree with that. And I feel like we should be kinder. I don't know how a woman... I mean, and I hear the frustration, but to how I would be able to raise my hand to my husband, my God, that is just very...
I think I've shared this story. I've shared this story so many times. So on this table, I've shared it like the time in the early marriage when we were having a serious argument. Oh my goodness. We're back and forth, going room to room, go. So my husband and I entered the guest room. He said, Mairo, if they burn you across this line, if they burn you, if your mama burn you, cross this line. Cross with I was there fuming. Nigeria, you stop. Cross with me. My God. I could see him. He was already. If I cross this line, this is my face. I turned back.
Like a cross line for. Exactly. If I went the view, that I just give a distance. But let's bring it down to this street. So you're walking on the street. You see an average man. You think this is Mexico, where when you slap a man, he just come and hug you. It's not Telemundo. You'll be slapping Nigerian men. be ready for this.
I mean, how dare you?
His reflex, he just goes, as in, he's like, before you finish.
Yes.
So we cannot, right. He's not right.
Neither.
But don't provoke the reaction and be questioning the reaction.
Yes.
Should
Nigerian men be known for violence?
You don't know. We are not.
Why am I slapping a man that I don't even know?
It's not violence, so we are not for quick reflex.
I rather slap my husband. I mean, if we have to choose. Okay. Because I know that he has the love for me to maybe control himself. I would just see Risika on the road and slap him.
For what? The beating.
Hey! I've signed my warrant.
No, you can't give it to it for a round up.
Abolo says, when, as a man, you go ahead to marry a woman with big biceps, big calf, and a big muscle.
Listen, I really hate to say this. I really hate to say this, but God, please forgive me. There's a certain part of our country where these stocky women are.
Yes.
Yeah.
This lady I know, oh my goodness, her bones are like this, bobo. She beat this man like crazy.
You marry that one and you're complaining that they're beating you.
Oh my God, I feel bad for the man. The man is lanky. He's from Ogun State. Very nice, responsible boy, just trying to get things done. And his wife is there from this state, and she's a lucky man.
I love the way you are giving her a characteristic based on her physical.
That's what I wanted to say.
There are women from that area. This one I'm going to mention.
The sort of jabs he gives her or something that just gets her, you know, you'll be surprised at lanky words of his mouth.
Me, Mairo Afolabi Brown, I have witnessed it. I'm not giving you. I was there. And I saw the girl filming. Even me, I just like, please take it easy. Take it.
But if
I saw it with my own eyes.
It's a gift. It doesn't mean that.
It's a gift. No, this one is a gift. So this woman is huge, like Mario described. And the husband was having a fracas with his neighbor, another man. And he said to him, just wait, me Mama Chuko come. I don't have time for you. Let Mama Chuko come. And the neighbors knew what it meant. This one comes in trouble.
Mama Chuko.
Mama Chuko has not met the right man at all.
No.
What does Mama Chuko
yes,
do?
Even the man, pipe no, his voice went down straight. Please don't be reporting me. So sometimes it's a gift.
Don't be reporting me.
Yes, don't be reporting me to this woman. Sometimes it's a gift.
Wow. Okay.
Yes,
Quickly, you know, I had several stepmothers growing up, and one of them,
like
yes, and one of them happened to have one bone. And I remember then when they're having this family, because it was a family house, and then we have all these family members, my uncles and all of that, insulting my dad and everything, because he was the first son. When it was her tenor, you dare not. You just use one hand and leave this uncle on the floor. I'm telling you. So that tenor, she spent a few years in the house, and there was peace, because everybody was afraid to talk to my dad. My dad is strong. He's a sportsman. And even with her, they do it.
You know, now that you talk about your dad,
now.
I just remember my own dad too. My dad's second wife. Hey, she's from Stocky. She's not very tall. She's like 5'2". She never be my dad though, but I knew my dad feared her. There was that fear. Once we enter in solar like this, my dad will come to my house. My baby, and I'll be doing still throughout the house. Once he enters in solo like this, he becomes a small person. He maintains what they need. Yes. My daddy just crawls up. This mother will shout at my own mother in the house. When I come to his solo, he just keeps quiet. When they give him food, he just eats. Time to go to bed, he just goes to bed. He doesn't give that woman Allah.
That woman have stopped tweeting.
Not tweet.
No, but she's okay. Ogbonna Ifoma says, if my husband's sister must cooperate with me, God forbid if we lose him. Now me, the wife, go suffer pass. But the sister will go on here away. So I must put on my ground stand. This is difficult to read. TC Lopo says, if a man wants someone just like his sister, then he should marry someone with the same attributes, not to try to mold his wife to fit that image. That is just disrespectful.
I think it's more than we'll now talk to them.
Omora says, a guy slapped a married woman driving in go-slow, Ahmad Bello with Jos, and the guys around zoomed in on him, beating him from all over until the police saved him from being lynched. We still have some men with the mind of the quality image of God. A gentleman, Fash says, a gentleman should never hit a lady. That was what I was taught growing up, but I feel it's high time girls are also taught that ladies shouldn't hit gentlemen as well.
HOB Bangladesh says, a woman was regularly beating her husband. Then the man explored at the African shrine. for a week and became streetwise. When the wife tried beating him again, he broke a bottle for shakara and the wife ran out and started begging him. Now there's peace in the home.
Yes, one more.
My concern is competence. That's the other story here, and not relative or loved one who is qualified and competent to deliver on the job gets the job.
As a rounder, I mean, I think that's all we can take on this topic. It was really fun having the conversation. But let's talk about what you're working on. Anything interesting for our viewers to know?
Yeah, all the fancy stuff. So I'm going to be in Nigeria more often. You see, I knew you guys liked me. Love you. So I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm kind of embracing my, because I get a lot of calls to come here to do like speaking gigs and things like that I'm not able to do because of my schedule back home. So come 2020, I'm open. If you know the people that are signing the checks for these big conferences, let them call me. It's happening. And then with Real Nigeria Ladies of Dallas, we're excited because we are now editing our 3rd season. Amazon Prime Video, and it's that's pretty much what's going on.
That's good.
Yes, I quit corporate America.
You quit corporate America for real?
Yes.
Who does that? You know how much you must have been earning.
I quit corporate America. I'm no longer doing that. So what I used to do for the corporations I worked with, I'm now doing for entrepreneurs and business owners.
Oh, fantastic.
So you want to grow your business, you want to know your demographic, you want to kind of change your passion into money. I'm your girl, and it's all on.
Nice.
Yeah, you can.
You start charging in Naira? Because
I'll do the exchange rate and we'll make it happen. Don't worry, I have bank accounts. I have bank account here. I'll do you a sister.
Okay, nice. So that's all we can take on the show. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Absolutely.
Hope you had fun as much as we did. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
It was a Gist Friday.
That's how I'll start doing.